Where do you see the auto market for 2024?
It's going to be worse than it is this year. I see this continued downtrend throughout the course of the year, depending on the strikes. That's every answer is going to have that asterisk. There you go. That word next to it. As long as that doesn't mess up everything, then prices are going to continue to go down. There's going to be a spike for tax time next year. Then dealers are going to get hammered again right after that. And then prices are going to continue down. So 2024 into 2024 is going to be way worse than what it is now because I don't see the economic situation getting any better. I don't see the Fed cutting rates anytime soon. And I hope they don't because I need house prices to get lower so I can buy a house. There you go.
Yes, and for those of you that don't know, we sold our house when prices were high, and we're renting until
prices are still high, but when they were at like peak levels,
when they were, we sold it a year and a half ago, and so we're renting until we find what we want.
I hate it
long term.
I hate it.
We do hate it. Car dealers know exactly why people are on guard as soon as they walk into the dealership. Why do they continue practices that make people angry? Ever had a conversation with one and asked why? They don't see it that way.
Yeah, they don't. And the way that the car industry is set up for car dealers to be predatory, and that's what they are. So for those of you that don't know, car dealers for the most part do not own their inventory outright. They actually finance it. They swipe basically a credit card to get their inventory. So the longer their inventory sits on their lot, the more interest they have to pay. So that pushes car dealers to try to push cars out on customers as fast as possible. So that's why you'll see some car dealerships that you go out, you'll get just destroyed by car salesmen. And that's another thing too. A lot of car salesmen are paid on commission, and that forces them to be more predatory because if they don't sell you a car, they don't make money. So that's how the car market's set up. Now I'll tell you my dealership and why we're so successful is because we go completely against the grain. One, I pay cash for all my vehicles. Now, when I say cash, I don't literally take hard cash to the sales. I mean, we just are able to write a check and we don't finance any of the cars that we buy. We pay outright for them. And so we don't, if a car sits for 6 months, it doesn't matter on my lot because it's not costing me any extra money other than just general lot ride, right? But two, my salespeople are not paid on commission. If we sell 0 cars or we sell 100 cars in a month, they're paid exactly the same. Well, we give bonuses and stuff for like selling 100 cars every time, but that's not pushing them to put people in a car because each individual sale on its own doesn't really matter. And I feel like in that capacity, my salespeople are just there to not to push you into a car, but let the customer decide what they want. And if they don't want a car, you know what? It's okay. So we've set up this environment where we're not going to be pushy and we're not going to be desperate. We're not going to be set up to do that. And a lot of these other car dealers are the other way, where they are desperate and they do have employees that are desperate to make the sale, because if they don't make the sale, they don't make money. And our dealership is not that way. Right. I don't know if I answered that question or not.
They're not doing things to make people angry. That's not what they're doing. They're doing things to make money because they are set up.
They're just trying to get money.
Just trying to get paid.
Yep.
Would it be possible for you to visit some used car dealerships for retail prices? I appreciate your transparency in disclosing your method. Any idea what margin other used car dealers would use?
So I don't want to go to used car dealerships to show prices. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, prices are typically not going to be displayed on used cars. Anyway, you see that across the market, both used car dealers and new car dealers. They're used cars. They're not required to post their prices. Frustrating to me. We post all of our prices on our windshield so a customer can actually freaking see what they're going to pay for the car. But most dealers are not like that. So it would be a time wasting event for me to try to go see prices. And two, a lot of these used car dealers are owned by one person. They have a couple employees and that's it. And I don't want to have the negative effect of me going to a dealership and seeing maybe some practices that are not something that I agree with and point them out. And then they get just absolutely slaughtered online because I do a video there. So I'm not trying to do that. When I go to these bigger dealerships, it's not such a thing because I can say, okay, there's all these new dealerships across the market and they're all doing this. So it's not necessarily what this just one dealership is doing. I'm just trying to give you information showing you what to look for and what not to pay and those kind of things. And even a lot of times when I'm talking about these kind of dealerships, I try not to show even where I'm at, because that's not what I'm trying to do on this channel. I'm not trying to pick out certain dealers and say this is a bad dealer or this is a good dealer. I'm trying to show you, all right, these are tendencies of bad dealers. So instead of just outing that one dealer, say that they're bad, I can out all the dealers across the country because you can literally go into this dealership and if you see this bad thing that I'm telling you that's a bad thing, they shouldn't be charging that. then you know, okay, I'm just going to leave and go to a dealer that's not doing that. So I'm not making this about really just pointing out scam artists in the market. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to give you education on or give you information on what to look for and what's good, what are good things across the market, and what are bad things.
And like so many people want us to call out bad dealers, but I
I'm
feel
not
like
going to do
that
it.
just distracts from the point. The
Yeah.
point is that you need to know how to spot it for your situation. If we point out one bad dealer, that's going to be one bad dealer out of hundreds or thousands. And so you guys just need to be able to know the information to make that judgment call.
Right. Most of the people that are watching, they're not even local to wherever I'm at the time. So I would rather try to help the masses by pointing out generic things than honing in on this one little area of the country and telling, okay, the 100 people that watch this video that are close not to buy at this dealership.
That being said, too, I mean, there are lots of dealers that, I mean, I've heard of that are in our area that do things that, are absolutely things we would not do at our dealership. And they do them without any feeling that there's anything wrong with it because it's so normal. So some of these
Yep.
people are not immoral. They are just looking at something as a profit margin, and everybody's trying
It's
to make
just
money at work.
it's just a lot of these things are just an element of the market. They're like, okay, if other people are charging it, then I
Why
should just
shouldn't
charge it too. Yep.
Why shouldn't you? Have you ever considered selling pricier cars?
We have, I think, let's see, was it 2 tax times ago? There were no vehicles available. So we were scratching and digging to find anything. So we had to actually tear up on our vehicles, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. So we had a Hummer that we were selling, I think, for like, it was like $8,000 or $9,000. And it just made me feel so gross to have that on our lot because like we had people coming that know about us. Like they know that we are the cheap car spot in our area. We have people that have bought 5, 6 cars from us, families that bought tons of cars, and they just know that, okay, I need to find a $3,500 car. I know exactly where to go. And then 2 tax seasons ago, they came and we didn't have what they wanted. So that felt bad to turn away customers that they only had 3,500, they only had $4,000, and we didn't have anything like that on our lot. Now, the argument is that we could have those kind of vehicles and we could have higher price cars too. But to be honest, I mean, just from a business standpoint, we're going to make just about the same amount on the more expensive vehicles than we are on the cars that we're selling right now. And we take on way less risk with the vehicles that are cheaper, obviously, because we have less money in them. And I feel like we're helping more people when we do that, because you can go to any dealer and you can buy a $7,000-$8,000 vehicle, right? But you can't go anywhere and buy a $2,500 car, $3,500 car. So I feel like the space that we have, we can only hold like 80, 90 vehicles on our lot. If I want that space to be filled up with cars that are under $5,000 and not have to have a few $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 cars out there and not be able to serve the community that we're trying to serve. So we have considered it, and we've had to do it a little bit in the past just because vehicles weren't available. But if vehicles are available, then no, that's not my preference. I would rather go the route of cheaper vehicles to serve the community that knows where we are and knows what kind of price points we're at, and that's where I'd like to stay. So pending any other kind of car market crisis, then that's where we're going to stay. So you might be watching this and not even know this, but this is a brand new channel. So if you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, it would really, really help me out.
All right. How do you feel about used Mazdas?
I like Mazdas. I like Mazdas a lot. We buy a lot of Mazdas. I feel like they're good cars, and I've even sat in some of the newer ones now, and it seems like now, I mean, they're the brand new ones, so we don't know how long they're going to last yet, but it seems like they're some of the more reasonably priced vehicles that you can buy right now. Still not cheap, but I like a lot about what Mazda is doing, and the kind of Mazdas that I buy are like 2010 and older, and they seem to hold up pretty well. We have a lot of them that we have to replace, like motor mounts in, like the Mazda 3s, Mazda 6, but it's not a bad repair. And we don't have a lot of engine and transmission issues out of Mazda, so I like Mazdas. Alex likes Mazdas too. We buy a lot of Mazdas. Try to get the 4 cylinders though. If you're looking at the older ones, I think they hold up a little bit better than 6 cylinders. I think that's the norm in Asian cars is for the 4 cylinders are much much better than the 6 cylinders.
What's your opinion on pre-2000 cars?
I don't mind them at all, especially like Camrys, the little Honda Civics and Accords. They're really really good, and then you can buy some of the older trucks that hold up really well. The F-150s are the same as far as those years are, but yeah. I don't mind them at all. You need to have one that's been maintained over the years, and also one that doesn't have rust. So we're in a place that doesn't have rust, so you can get a 1996 car and the frame looks almost brand new here. But if you go in the Northeast, pre 2000 cars, unless they've been stored in a garage for their life, they're going to be non-existent. They're going to already be disintegrated because of the rust. So you just got to be in a non-rust area, and it has to be a car that's been kept up or just really not driven all that much. In the last 20 years. So, but I don't mind them.
One from earlier, Honda's still bringing it with the reliability.
Yeah, Honda's good. I like Honda, I like Toyota. Yeah, so if you're going to buy a sedan right now, and if it's a new vehicle, I would go Accord, Civic, Camry, Corolla. That would be my 4 recommendations.